The 2025 European International Championships has just wrapped up, and with that marks the halfway point of Regulation G 2.0, and honestly, what a fantastic way to really go into the second half of this format. This was, for anyone who didn't see, the biggest tournament of all time. Between the Masters, Seniors, and Juniors, we had over 1,400 players, and if you missed Wolfe's, fantastic post-game speech, yeah, 1,400 trainers, they bred their Pokemon, they EV trained them, and it wasn't enough to stop the GOAT, Mr. Wolfe Glick, from winning yet another biggest tournament of all time. If you guys didn't see, I did put out a video yesterday just talking strictly about like Wolfe's team, bits about his run and whatnot, just basically just 12 minutes of me glazing the GOAT. So yeah, if you want, go check that out, obviously. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about, a lot of interesting things here. One thing I will say as well is, like, I do honestly feel like this is probably one of the most impressive tournaments of all time to win. Yeah, again, I'm not trying to glaze Wolfe any more than I already have. But when you, like, look at the sheer number of, like, there are 1,257 Masters in this event, and you start scrolling down, man, there's, like, this, it was ridiculously stacked, right? You got, like, obviously Wolfe here, EUIC, I believe, I'm awful at pronunciation, sorry. I believe they got top 16 at Worlds last year. Taron Bird, Gavin Michaels, Joe Ugarte, all fantastic players. Joji, the Japanese player playing out of Australia right now. I've played against him a couple times. Fantastic. Shohei Kimura, of course, the 2023 World Champion. The list goes on and on. Paul Chua, another fantastic player. You start scrolling down, man. You got some really good guys here, like Lucas Ceribelli, defending world champion. Marco Silva, poor dude, had to deal with Wolfe Comparish like 3 times in these last 3 major events. Stefan Mott here rocking Kyogre, dude. Justin Tang also coming off a regional championship. Just, honestly, just a ridiculous amount of players. Like, a lot of really, really good guys as well. We have Michael Kelch down here at 90th. Obviously, one of the best players in the world. And shout out to the homie Dim the Sim, my guy Dim. Coming in here at 99, making day 2. 7-1 day 1 as well. Super impressed. Super happy for my guy there. So, honestly, just, it just goes to show, man, this was one of the most stacked events of all time. And, yeah, Wolfe Glick just, I know, dude, the guy comes out, he's like, hey, this is a metagame where, Calyrex Shadow is like the most used mon. I'm gonna bring Perish Trap, and I'm gonna win. And it was, honestly, it was kind of insane. But quickly, I just want to take a look here at the usage stats. So we've got day 1 and day 2. I'll quickly pivot a little bit between them. I will say this. I do think this this event kind of showed me one thing I kind of already knew, but it really kind of just like reaffirmed it for me. And that is, I believe right now, Calyrex Shadow Rider and Miraidon are the 2 best Pokemon in the game. Now, I think in a vacuum, if we talk the best Pokemon of all time, I do think it is Calyrex Shadow Rider, right? This Pokemon has ridiculous speed, ridiculous special attack, a ridiculous ability, and a broken signature move. The only reason right now I do kind of hold off from saying I think it's the best Pokemon in the game is simply because, like, when we go back to, our list here, right? And you just start, like, looking through the Pokemon that were good here, right? You've got mons like Incin, Farigiraf, there's Dark Urshifus, we have some Chiyus in there, Chien Power, there's even a couple of Grimmsnarls. We also had Terapagos here at like 8% usage. Day 2, it was, yeah, still 8%. So I think in a vacuum, this is still the best Pokemon we've ever seen. But I do think in the current metagame, there are a lot of mons that are really good into it. Zamazenta as well is also like a really solid mon, especially if they are running things like Wide Guard. Which it is crazy for me to sit here and say I don't think it's the best mon in the game. I think it's the second best, simply, because it has so many counters. But even then, it's still the most used mon in day 2. Out of all the people who made day 2, 27% of them were using Calyrex, which I do think is absolutely nutty. But I will say, I do think right now the best Pokemon in the game is Miraidon. And there's a couple reasons for that. Like, one, when you look at the usage stats again, where are the ground types, right? If you have a look here, we scroll down, I believe there's like, yeah, I think Joji is the only Landorus in like top 16. I think there was like 2 maybe in top 32. Oh yeah, only 2. Sorry, there's 3 in day 2. 3 in day 2. I lied. And then there's also like a random Ting Lu up here somewhere, I believe. Am I going blind? I'm sure I saw a Ting Lu earlier. Where is it? Yeah, so we have a Ting Lu here. And like, that's kind of it. There's like just no ground types in the metagame, which I do think is something that's really, really good for Miraidon right now. No ground types means it is pretty free to almost always just click Electro Drift. And I think the beauty of Miraidon is, even if you're a Pokemon that resists Electro Drift, you don't resist Draco Meteor. There is no Pokemon in the game that I know of that resists both of them. Which is, it's kind of crazy, right? Like, sorry, that's a lie. There is one and it's in second place. I lied. It just clicked in my head. It was Iron Treads. But yeah, there are very few Pokemon in the game that can take the combination of Electro Drift and Draco Meteor, which I do think makes this one incredibly good. I also think Amoonguss right now is one of the best Pokemon in the game, of course. And having Electric Terrain stopping the spores, I do think, obviously, kind of really props it up. And then not to mention, I think of the top restricteds, when you have a look at, all of these mons here, It really is like probably the only one outside of Koraidon that doesn't need any form of setup to like always be effective. You know, a lot of Calyraxes these days, or at least Cali Shadows, like they're either like really fast life orb and have like 0 bulk, so they just die to everything, or they're like super bulky and they like need nasty plot to kind of like really take off with the game. Calyrex is the same. You know, even in a game where you get a really good lead, you are normally still the slowest Pokemon on the field. So even if you have a good lead and it's a really good turn to click Glacial Lance, you're still almost always going last. And if you don't have a turn like that, you kind of need Trick Room to get going. And again, a lot of the time, you know, if you're leading and you're clicking Trick Room, there's going to be something like an Urshi Rapid sitting in front of you, clicking a Surging Strike, and then it's going to be able to tank the next, you know, the Glacial Lance coming into it, and then it's going to get off another one. And, you know, it just, again, still a fantastic Pokemon. It's just a little bit slower. But yeah, I mean, when it comes to the rest of the top 8, there's not really that much to talk about here. I think it's kind of what everyone expects. I would say I do think the top 4 are probably the 4 best restricteds. And then I think the next 3, like, I think the way I would say this, like, if this was a tier list, I think it's like Cali and Miraidon, or like Cali S and Miraidon for me, like S+ tier. Cali Ice is probably like S tier. Like, to me, it's just that little bit worse than those two. And then it's probably like Zama, Kyogre, Koraidon, Terapagos are all like A tier, and then Groudon's probably just like the best of the bad, you know, bad mons. The one good thing Groudon has going for it is a very positive matchup into Miraidon. The new AV sets are able to take Draco Meteors like it's nothing and fire off really strong attacks. So yeah, that is like the one major thing going for it. In terms of just like the normal usages, like we'll kind of look at day 2 here. I don't think day 1's as important. Urshi Rapid is just, this mon is another restricted legendary. I do think that is definitely something to keep in mind when you're team building. I think these new variants of like bulky Mystic Water, even the Sash stuff are all like really good. I do think Choice Scarf is like really fallen off. Like, I don't know, like there's so much Rocky Helmet going around. There's like a lot of mons that kind of don't care, like the Miraidons, the Raging Bolts. It's like, I feel like Choice Scarf is just kind of a throw right now. And I do think Sash, Mystic Water with like either like Terra Stella, Terra Water, or like Terra Grass is probably the best way to play it. Incin, like, to me, Incin's rise back up is like kind of crazy, but also like if you've been playing the game, like the mon's insane. Like, if anyone remembers, this mon had like one of the biggest drop-offs ever at Worlds last year. It was like, what the hell happened to Incin? It's like day 2 usage was like super low compared to what everyone was expecting. And it's kind of just rise back up, and everyone's like, yeah, it's still like the second best one in the game. But I mean, the rest of the ones here, it's like, it's all pretty simple. Like a Rillaboom and Moongus, like just 2 of the best grass types in the game. Fantastic supportive mons. Ogerpon and Hearthflame these days, everyone's playing it like really bulky, like with Follow Me, but it can still deal a lot of damage with Ivy Cudgel. Like, I'm pretty sure we saw like a lot of the tank stuff where they're running like Impish with like max defense, max HP, so they can take 2 Glacial Lances. Raging Bolt, of course, is just like mini Miraidon. And it's also like really good, like Raging Bolt actually just like patches a lot of matchups. Like if you look at some of the sets here, right, like AV Bolt with like Snarl is like really good into like non-cloak Callies. And then even if like they are cloaked, like a lot of the time you just like T-Bolt them down. Pretty bad into obviously Calyrex Ice here, but into Miraidon, it's like you're playing the game of like, hey, if you Electro Drift me, I 4x resist you. If you Draco me, I always have Terra Fairy. And I can always threaten to KO back on you. If you don't Terra, I'm going to Drake you. If you do Terra, I can Thunderbolt you in terrain. You know, it is what it is. Pretty bulky mon, resist the steel moves coming out of Zama. Of course, a lot of the time Terra Fairy. Pagos, pretty good into with AV, can take a hit. Very, very good into the Kyogre teams, obviously. AV plus a 4x resist. A resist to Water Spout is like fantastic. And on Groudon teams is pretty cracked, and it's similar to Miraidon, just like loses to Groudon, right? So very, very good mon in the metagame. Pow has a lot of really good matchups right now. A lot of the restrictors aren't running max speed that are in the same speed tier. The Miraidons, the Koraidons aren't. In saying that, Wolf did run Jolly Max, but yeah, I think Sash max speed on this thing right now is just fantastic into a lot of mons. A lot of teams, especially like the super hyper offensive ones. A lot of teams that really rely on either Tornadus or Whimsicott, I think can struggle into Qian Power just because a lot of the time it's Focus Sash and it's just going to Ice Spinner or it's going to Icicle Crowd, just going to one-shot your setter. And then, yeah, it's like, yeah, sure, you got, you know, terrain, but I'm just going to lead it next to something else that's like good into whatever else you have. And then you kind of just traded like 1.5 pieces for Tailwind. So, yeah. Fluttermane, I'm actually like kind of shocked it's this low in usage, especially like when you watch Wolf's run and like how good it was on his team. Like Wolf just played like Tim and Max, I believe, with Focus Sash. Yeah, just like, again, you look at the top mons here, they're all like really good. Ogerpon, Cornerstone here, very, very good offensive mon. Terra Rock, Ivy Cudgel is like really good in the metagame. Chi-Yu, of course, the GOAT, with Choice Scarf, you know, very, very good into things like, why am I blanking on it right now? Cali Shadow obviously has a very positive matchup into Cali Ice. It can be very, very good next to Miraidon, also against Miraidon with Choice Scarf. Snarl can really slow it down. Yeah, just a good mon. And then Giraffe, Iron Hands, just 2 very good Pokemon in the metagame. Both pair incredibly well with Miraidon. Giraffe just blocking priority. And again, you look at the top mons, we have Jet, Fake Out plus Glide. You know, Thunderclap here, Sucker Punch here. You know, there are a lot of ones with priority in the metagame, so Dral's very good at that. Stopping that. And then Iron Hands, of course, he's the GOAT, man. This one's honestly another restricted. I'm surprised that the usage is as low as it is. It's very good into opposing Miraidons with Assault Vest, and it's very good with Miraidon with Assault Vest. Just a fantastic mon. It gives Fake Out support. It stabs are very, very good in the metagame. And yeah, just a really, really good Pokemon. But going back to this anyway, let's briefly touch on some of the teams here as I quickly grab a drink of water. So we have Wolfe Glick here. Now, I don't want to go too in-depth with all of these teams, simply because, like, one, I want to respect your time. I don't want to be here all day. But also, two, as I said, I did a video on this yesterday. If you're interested, go check it out. You know, I kind of glazed the goat. But yeah, Wolfe's team here, super, super sick. One, I love that Crydon actually, you know, got a result. Two, I also love that Wolfe showed me Live Orb Crydon. I was testing it after he won. I was like, holy shit, this thing's actually cracked. Like, there are a lot of times where, like, I hated having Color Cloak on it because it was like, yeah, sure, you know, Insin's gonna, like, intimidate me. I don't care. He's gonna fake me out anyway, like, knock me. It's just like, it is like whatever, and there's like a lot of KOs you miss, but like Life Orb Close Combat, a lot of those KOs you missed before, all of a sudden you're not missing anymore. And Life Orb Terrify if Leblitz in the sun, same thing. Like, I remember watching Wolfe, and I'm sitting there like, why is he just like terroring like every game? There's no point in like terroring here. Like, he's getting no defensive, he's not getting a boost defensively from it. And then I start realizing he's like, oh, like, he's actually just, like, one-shotting everything with Terrify, Fleblitz, and Sun. I was like, okay, like, it's not a defensive thing. He's just clicking it to go on the offensive. But yeah, honestly, super cool team here. The Terra Normal, Fluttermane, very, very good for the Calyrex Shadow matchups. The Gothitelle Screamtail, dude, this was, like, some of the funniest stuff ever. Like, what he did to Luca was so damn disrespectful, man. Like, if you guys go watch that, I figured it was, like, super early day 2. But like Luca Cerebelli, defending world champion, Wolfe Glick like positions Screamtail Goth in front of the Miraidon. Miraidon's like locked into its move. He then just disables it, and then the Miraidon is stuck on the board, struggling to death. It was honestly, man, so disrespectful, but so dirty, dude. And then Wolfe Glick being Wolfe Glick, man, he makes him struggle to death, and he perishes the next mon, wins the game. Honestly, just insane, man. It's such a cool team. Like, defensive back mode here of Incin and Moongus. You got the Perish Trap mode here of Screamtail Goth, and then the Sun mode of Crydon Fluttermane. Just honestly, like, Wolfe Glick, man, he's the chef, he's the GOAT, the Glaze Master. Yeah, fantastic. We've got Dill's team here. Again, I don't want to go like super in depth on this because this team is like relatively standard. I do think Urshi Dark on these teams is like really good, especially for a lot of those Trick Room matchups. It's a fantastic mon into a lot of the like Cali Ice teams. You also have like standard Giraffe here for the most part. Does have Roar, which was like super interesting. We got to see like a cool tech where under Trick Room he was like able to like knock off, I believe, with the Incineroar, and then he like self-roared himself so that like Incin always switched out last, which I did think was like really, really cool. And then, yeah, just like a lot of, you know, other standard stuff, right? We got the AV hands paired up with Miraidon. The Miraidon set here is pretty standard. And then the Iron Treads. This was like the other big thing, I should say, because I do think Raw for Ralph is like really cool. Another cool tech as well with Raw, before I move on, is you can actually like play Giraffe next to Miraidon, drop a Draco, self-roar yourself out, which I do think is like really cool. But yeah, the Treads, I think this is a mon that just kind of patched the mirror. And not to mention just, again, having a strong ground type in this metagame, it's really hard to come by, so I think Choice Banded Iron Treads actually does make a bit of sense. Steel Roller is like really interesting, but I'm assuming there's like probably some calc for Rillaboom I'd have to check, where like a Banded Steel Roller with Terra Ghost probably just bops it, and then if you bop it, your Miraidon's just, it feels good, right? So yeah, really cool team there by Dylan. This team here with Cali, like the one thing I think to mention here is the Flutterfish. I just love these two mons, man. I think they are very good into the Zamazentas, which I do think Cali Ice can struggle with sometimes. So because of that is like really good. And not to mention, it's just like, it is the best duo in Pokemon, if you ask me. I have been playing these two together since before the game dropped. Like, I don't know if anyone was playing Showdown when they did like the pre-ladder, like when we had leaks, like the game wasn't even out yet, but it was like, oh, like, here's the Dynamite, here's the leaks, here's the Pokemon. Like, I started playing, I was like, damn, Chiyu Fluttermane looks freaking sick. And it still is. And I absolutely love that, man. I absolutely love it. Karen here, though, I believe this is just Lucas Cerebelli's team with the latest edition of the Mystic Water. I believe these teams used to be Sash off memory. Or were they Scarf? I don't know. They were like Sash or Scarf, but now they're going like Terra Water, Mystic Water. It just pumps out damage. You put this next to Giraffe, you're helping hand it. It's really good. It's also really good with Whimsicott. Like, I've seen some players where, you know, you just like, you call the lead, right? They don't lead anything that like just beats Urshi. And then you just go like Tailwind, Mystic Water, sorry, Tailwind, Terror, Mystic Water, and you kind of just like run through with Surging Strikes. Light Screen's also really good with the slightly bulkier Urshis, because a lot of the time on teams like this, you run like enough bulk to live Life Orb, Astral Barrage. So when you have Light Screen as well, it allows you to live 2 of them, which can be really, really good. But yeah, shout out to Tarrant there. Gavin's team as well. Now, this team was sick because, like, I've personally been sitting down, like, looking at, like, the build. Like, I want to make Kyogre work. I am personally not a massive fan of balance unless it's, like, a really, really good balance team. And, like, I was looking at those, like, old-school Kyogre teams, or it was, like, Kyogre paired with, like, Incineroar and, like, a Moongus. I'm like, these teams just, like, they don't feel like me. But then I see this team here, I'm like, hold up. Like, now I'm listening. Like, I think this is the one team Terra Water Urshifu is good on. Sorry, not Terra Water, Choice Scarf Urshifu is good on. You've got the Rain, obviously. You've got a second Rain setter here as well, Tornadus. And then you just got, like, Chen Power and Iron Hands. I think these two, like, these 3 here, I should say, really form such a dirty offensive core, man. Like, it honestly does feel like this team has 4 restricted Pokemon, in my opinion. Like, of course, Kyogre is a restricted. I say all the time, Iron Hands is a restricted Pokemon, right? This team's hardest matchup, without a doubt, would be Miraidon. But you have the Ice Spinner here. Oh, sorry, they actually crashed, not Spinner. That's crazy. I'm sure there's a calc for that, but I'm actually surprised they're not Ice Spinner just because the Miraidon matchup. But then you got Iron Hands, and it's like, I have AV, you can't hit me. I'm just going to, like, Wild Charge you or, like, Low Kick you. You got to make a call. You get it. You win the game. Fantastic. But yeah, really cool hyper-offensive team here with, like, a defensive backbone and a Moongus and Iron Hands. Personally, absolutely love it. Massive shout out to Gavin, dude. I will be testing this team out for sure at some point. My goat, Joe Ugarte, as well out here, rocking screens and Ditto. You love to see it. Volcarona as well as a mon, I do expect to kind of see pick up a little bit more on these Miraidon teams. Just because I think some of the ones that it can struggle with, the Quiverdan's Volcarona is just, like, really good into, especially, like, when you look at those Zamazenta teams, right? This one with Quiverdance can just be pretty nasty, especially with, like, Citrus Berry and then support from Grimmsnarl and Iron Hands. And, of course, Ditto, man. If you can position Ditto, right, like this one is so hard to play, but you get it in the right situation, it will run through a game. You steal the Kali Shadow that's buffed up, your Terra Normal, so, like, you win the mirror. It's really freaking good, man. Is there any other, like, crazy stuff as well? Grant's team here, I will kind of briefly touch on, because I actually do think Terra Normal Entei is really good on Miraidon. I did start testing it out myself, and this is, like, I would say one of the issues with Miraidon teams, right, is sometimes you can get overwhelmed by Kali Shadow. Like, if it's the right kind of Kali Shadow game, like, it can overwhelm you, right? Because a lot of the time, it's like either you bring Whimsicott to set up speed control, but then it kind of sits there until it dies, or you have to, like, pivot something in to take an Astral Barrage, or, like, you know, you kind of just gotta run through it early, right? Where Entei is like, hey, I'm Terra Normal, I can bop it. Like, you know, a lot of these Miraidons can't, sorry, Miraidons, a lot of these Kali Shadows can't live, like, the Sacred Fire, right? Like, especially, like, the Banded set, which I was testing out, I think is really good. But yeah, even Life Orb, like, I think this set here, like, the Sacred Fire, E-Speed, Stompy T, very, very solid into the metagame. Stompy T gives you, like, a solid answer into the mirror as well for Miraidons. And yeah, just, like, it's pretty standard. I do think Screens as well is, like, really nice, just because Miraidon is, like, one of the few restricteds that just doesn't really care about Urshi Rapid, or, like, Urshi Dark for that matter. Like, if you play against Dark, you just Terra Fairy, can't touch you. And against Rapid, you just, again, they're going to close combat you, but if they, you know, if they call it wrong, you Terra Fairy, you kind of just going to mess them up. But yeah, this here, really, really cool team. And also, like, Banded Shifu with Terra Grass next to Giraffe is actually crazy. You go up against, like, some of those, the Kali Shadow, sorry, Kali Ice teams, and this combo can, like, be really, really problematic, man. Any other cool teams I want to talk about here? Like, again, there's a lot I could really talk about with a lot of these, but I kind of, like, don't want to waste too much time. This Kali Shadow team looks, like, relatively standard. It's just, like, it's, you know, it's Clef, it's Kali, and then it's, like, the Fire Water Grass core with Pelipper as, like, your, like, kind of answer into, like, into Kali Eyes, but then also, like, a way to buff up the Urshifu in, like, the right matchup. So, yeah, we'll close that one there. Joji's team I do think is really cool as well. I do think, like, Landorus is a little undervalued at this event. I don't know if its usage stat was just really low or if it's just conversion rate was really bad. Definitely worth checking out, but I do think it's probably the best ground type in the game right now. I don't think there's anything better. Like, I wouldn't say Groudon's better than it. Maybe there's an argument for the Ursalunas, but they also, like, didn't really have a great showing, so it's hard to say. I do think Grimmsnarl, as I said, is, like, really good. On a lot of these teams where, like, I think if you're running a team that doesn't care too much about Urshi, I think Screens is really good, and Raging Bolt is one of those mons that doesn't care too much about Urshi. I will say, and I'd be curious what Joji would say about this, but Urshi Dark does actually look like it kind of messes up this team. There's, like, nothing for it outside of the Grimmsnarl, like, everything else kind of just gets bopped, but yeah, I mean, other than that, right, this Grimmsnarl looks incredibly good into a lot of the metagame right now. We have Francisco's team here. I believe, I saw someone talking about Heatran. What was it? I think the Terra Fairy is meant to be for your, what's it called? Koraidon matchup off memory. Because, like, Terra Fairy allows you to, like, live the CCs, and then with Flash Fire, you can take the what's it called? Flash Fire, you take the Flare Blitz. Which I'm guessing, Terrapagos can have a little bit of an issue with. And also, Terra Fairy, Terra Blast probably gives you a solid matchup into things like Urshifu and Iron Hands as well, which is, obviously two of Terrapagos' biggest issues. So, that obviously definitely patches it up, and then you just got the standard defensive backbone really in here. Screamtail getting 2 top 16s, also kind of crazy. Encore Disable as well here with Dazzling Gleam. Clearly a very good mon, right? As, we said when we we're looking at Wolf's team, if you can trap that Miraidon in, you can really make its day just miserable, honestly. And yeah, Magma Storm can really do that, man. So, yeah, massive shout out to him there. Really, really cool team. Shohei rocking the World's team there. Not too much to talk about. Kyle here running the Kali Shadow with Wheezing. Now this is a mon that has been picking up quite a bit recently, is the Wheezing. But this is just a really cool team. This is just like super, super, super hyper offensive, right? You're like, hey, Iron Hands is like my only defensive piece. Everything else is offensive, right? We have the Life Orb, Qian Pao, we have the Choice Bender Dragonite, we have the Choice Scarf Urshi, like the old Pao-Shi Knight. I think that's what I called it. I think I called it Pao Knight Shifu. Or whatever I called it, man. Just super, super offensive with the Wheezing here. Just saying like, hey, I'm gonna mess you up. I got a lot of freaking damage, and I'm not afraid to use it. This is just a really, really cool team by Carl. Very, very offensive. Any other stuff as well? There is a Ting Dozo here. Boo. We hate Ting Dozo. Ruins my Flutter Mane plus Chiyu combo. Absolutely hate it. But yeah, this is kind of like a relatively standard Zamba set right now. I would say the Santoon plus Yawn stuff is like super annoying with both mons running Protect, which is like definitely annoying. And Terra plus Helmet here is like really, really good into Urshifu. Yeah, just it's a cool team, clearly very, very good. But I'm just not an enjoyer of the old Ting Lu shenanigans. Anything else like really, really cool here I want to touch on? James Evans running like a pretty nice hyper offensive Kali here. We see more of the Goat Chiyu here in the top cut as well. Is there anything like catching my eye that I think we need to talk about? Oh, this team here actually, I heard people talking about this like 2-2-2 stuff with Wheezing, right? So like this is kind of like the this is like your anti-Zamazenta mon, I want to say. No, this isn't anti-Zama one. Terra Electric, what is this? That's for like steel type. Why would you want to? Unless that's a Miraidon answer. Is that it? Is this like a Miraidon answer? But you just get Dracoed. So like, this one I'm really curious about actually. Like the helmet stuff I do think is good. Like Helmet Rest Talk actually does have some like really, really good matchups. But why is it Terra Electric? That one, yeah, that one I'm not too sure about. The Choice Specs Chiyu, sorry, Fluttermane with the Choice Scarf Chiyu, I do think is really, really cool, especially with Sun. Obviously, two of the goats here, so I would assume this is Speed Booster. That would be like my guess, because then you like set up the Sun and you have like overwhelming offense. And then the Focus Sash Wheezing, which I do think is one of the better ways to play it right now. Sash Wheezing just feels like pretty solid in my opinion. Just because like this one's like not that bulky anyway, and I think with Sash you can play it a bit more offensively. Terra Grand very good into Miraidon too, which I do think is worth mentioning. And then just like 3 attack Koraidon here with Dragon Claw, which honestly, Dragon moves on this mon don't get used enough. I did make the Scale Shot team like a month ago or so that I thought was really good. I actually thought Koraidon was like cracked on that team. It was like if I ever got a Scale Shot off, it was like kind of over, man. So because of that, I do think Dragon coverage is like really good on this one. But yeah, shout out to Victor, man. I would love to know what this Dozo does with Terra Electric. If anyone knows, please tell me. Like I'm blanking on it. Like what do you like? You resist to just. It's just electric, so it's just steel, right? Like an electric. Like I don't know. I'm baffled at this. Like I'm sure there's something I'm clearly missing. Like you're weak to ground type moves now, which again we said at the start. There's no good ground types. Yeah, I don't know why a water type would want to be an electric type. Cause yeah, you resist steel already, so that doesn't even make sense. You want to ground resist? Go like. I don't know, dude. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe this mon just only Terras in one particular matchup, and I'm blanking on it. But yeah, shout out to Victor. Anything else here I want to talk about? There's like nothing like too crazy, man. We got Josh here, dude. This feels bad. One of top cut playing Annihilate. We got an Archelodon as well, man. Dude, is Lucas our first? Sorry, Lucas. Is he our first Golden Go? I'm pretty sure it is. Man, that's kind of crazy. You know what? I'm gonna quickly pull up Top Cut Explorer. Do I have it open anywhere? Oh, I do. I have it on my other screen. Oh, would you look at that? Let me just quickly drag this across. Bang. Top Cut Explorer here. I just want to like quickly look at some of the day 2 stats for like everything in general. Let's have like even like top 4 here. Oh, you guys can't see my drop down. God damn OBS. Why you gotta do this to me, man? So Kali Shadow in day 2 had 8, Miraidon had 6, Kali Ice had 4, so not too surprised there. Dude, this is actually crazy. Like, I wish you guys could see this stat here. So there are 19 Urshifus in day 2. The next most used, sorry, in Top Cut. The next most used mod that's a non-restricted is Incineroar at 10. So Urshi Rapid almost has double the usage, which I think is nutty. Brian Hands too, here up at 8 is like pretty cool. I'm actually like really upset you guys can't see those stats there. This is practically what we're just looking at. The whole point of this was so I could see the stats here. Oh, let me have a look. I wonder, does the lab mouse have it? What is it? It's just lab mouse, isn't it? Lab mouse. Is this what I'm looking for, man? Let's have a look. Let's see what they've got for me here. Because I kind of just want to look at the usage stats. I feel like they also give me... Am I crazy to think it shows me like win rates as well? Oh, you can actually see like the most used team comp. Yeah, it's like, well, Lucas World's team there. Not surprised. I think that's Tang's... That's Tang's Kali Ice, right? And then that's what was the team? Also, I'm so red because of the white screen. That's crazy. Is there a dark mode for this? I don't know. We'll figure that out later. You guys can look at my beautiful red skin right now. Oh, dude, why am I blanking on it, man? I played him at OCIC. I'm pretty sure James Katz was part of the group. Like, there was a building group recently that built this. I can't believe I'm blanking on the player's name. I've literally played him at events. Was it Calvin Chen? Calvin Foster, maybe? I don't know. There was a team that ran this like a few months ago. Very, very good Kyogre team. The best performing one we've had so far, but... yeah, that's cool to see. Of course, the top 5 cores here are all Miraidons. Top 4 are all Miraidons. And top 3 is... Shit, look at that. It is actually so telling when you look at like the best cores in the game. The number 1 core, so not best, the most used, right? The most used 3 core here. Like, can I zoom in so you guys see this a bit better? Oh god, I've gone too far. I've gone too far. Oh god. This is awful. Professional YouTuber, by the way. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. So you guys can see over here on the side, the best or the most used core of 3 is the Firewater Grass, right? This is just the standard Incineroar and Urshi. And then it's like, it's Miraidon and it's Trick Room core, man. And then it's like Kali and its 2 best friends, dude. That's kind of funny. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more too. I don't like being this close. This is scary. That's not scary enough. That'll do, that'll do. Oh, dude, I'm like... I really need to learn how to, like, use this, man. Top placement is 3rd. Dude, there was a Magnemite at this event. That's crazy. Reshiram as well. Crazy. Dude, Magnemite is actually nutty, dude. Whoever brought that, shout out to you, homie, man. That's crazy. Oh, dude, I'm like... Score? Is this what we want? Score? Oh, no, yeah, here we go. Win rates. And that's what we want. So, Gothitelle. Oh, that was another crazy stat. I didn't say with Wolf's team, by the way. Only person at the event to bring Gothitelle. And yeah, 14-2, best one in the game. A Great Tusk at 5-2. They either dropped or got, is that a drop? Why would you 5-2 drop? You're still in contention for top cut. Or even day 2, that's crazy. There's a Slowbro here, Glastrier. Dude, my guy Polteezy as well at 10-6. Crazy, crazy. Are there any mods with a lot of usage? Dude, Screamtail here actually, 20 times it was used for a massive win rate. Obviously, Wolf helps out with that a lot. Iron Jugulus had a really good showing as well. Heatran was another one on the rise at this event. Dude, no way people rock standard Kali. That's got to be a mistake, right? That's got to be, man. That's got to be. Dude, Weezing actually having a pretty good showing. Brute Bonnet as well. This one's actually like really interesting. I think Brute Bonnet should probably see a little bit more play than it does, especially on those Sun teams. I think it's like a pretty good answer to some of the bad matchups. Dozo having a really good event. Fuck that guy. Dude, Ogerpon Cornerstone actually like it's one of those things, like 53% doesn't seem that great, but like when it's like 190 people used it, that's actually kind of crazy. Umbreon as well having a really good showing. Kali Shadow, is that our first restricted we've actually seen here? At 52%. That's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. Kali Ice, like hovering around 52 as well. Dude, who was actually, who cares who was good? Let's have a look who was bad at this event. I want to know, like, who are the real stinkers that actually got played. Kieran White, dude, feels bad, man. I'm a believer in that mon. Probably all played with Alola Ninetales as well. Let's be real. King Gambit had a poor showing. Dude, it's actually so crazy to me that this mon dominated the previous format, and now it's kind of just bad. Dude, Raichu has a poor showing. Hisui and Arcanine. We need some, like, more matches played. Galarian Moltres being pretty bad. I'm actually surprised about that. Probably just didn't see enough play to really convert. Jump, dude. The Joe Ugarte jump off stuff. Man, Joe out here ruining the metagame. Dude, another shout out to Joe Ugarte. Remember when he said this one was going to be good? And then someone won a Victory Road Tour and they were like, yeah, justified. Yeah, not justified, my guy. The 53rd worst Pokemon at this event. 20 people brought it. 42% win rate. Not great. Dude, Fraudon? Dude, Groudon is definitely on Fraud Watch. Holy crap. 53% win rate at 48 games played. That's crazy. Can we see, like, its opponents? Oh, yeah, so we can see its opponent. It was his best into Lunala. What was his, like, worst matchups, dude? Dude, Teleport, dude. That's so funny. Groudon is hard-walled by Pelipper. Dude, if you're losing to Zacians with Groudon, I think there's a problem. I mean, Kali Ice, I'm not surprised about. Kyogre, I'm not surprised about. I mean, dude, it even, right, you can't have a bad matchup into both dogs when, like, that's kind of your thing, right? You're meant to beat him. You lost to Cali Shadows. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Groudon definitely on Fraud Watch. I mean, it won the Sun matchup, I guess. That's the one thing going for it. Dude, Venusaur, I wish that was higher. That feels kind of bad, dude. Ho-Oh? I'm actually, like, Ho-Oh is, like, a really interesting mon. Like, obviously, its usage wasn't high, and its win rate was, like, pretty close to 50. This is a mod I expect to see do a lot better in double restricted. I think it actually has a lot of really good matchups. Its issue is it just doesn't have the power that, you know, a lot of the top restricteds have. So, like, it can't run through a game, but I definitely think, come, like, the restricted metagame, sorry, double restricted, with, like, Regenerator, Sacred Fire being as good as it is, and, like, just having, in general, just a really solid matchup into some of the top mons. Like, it's really good into Zama, pretty solid into Kali I as well. It has a ridiculous special defense stat as well, so pretty solid into, like, Miraidon, sorry, not Miraidon, Kali I, so yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. Dude, Blood Moon and Wellspring, two of the GOATs of previous formats, both struggling here. Tita having a little bit of a struggle. I mean, this is where things start to, like, even out a bit. Like, Shifu Dark struggling this much, I'm actually surprised by. I think this is a mon that's, like, really good on the right team. Maybe people were just trying to force it too much here. Koraidon, dude. Wolfe Glick, dude. It's crazy that this mon... nice. That's why Wolf won. 69 people used it and it came first. Coincidence? I think not. Zacian's another one I think is a little underexplored. Played it a lot myself. I think it's pretty good. Dude, Miraidon's win rate, actually bad. And I'm out here telling you guys it's the best one in the game. Crazy by me. Crazy. I do actually believe that Miraidon is the best one in the game still. And I've cooked it. Yeah, look, I think it's a good time to end it there. We've, like, cracked 30 minutes. I've kind of just been rambling. I hope you guys listen to me. I hope you guys enjoyed listening to me just talking shit. Is what I do best. I guess quickly as well, before, like, I round it out, obviously at the time of recording this, this is Tuesday for me in Australia. It's like, I don't know if it's Monday or, like, early Tuesday for Americans and Europeans or whatever it might be. Yeah, Pokemon Day is, like, 2 days from now. I do plan on streaming it, so if you're interested, obviously, you know, come check out the stream, have a chat with us. I think I'm going to go live, like, probably an hour before. It does start at 1 AM for me in Australia, so it's pretty rough. I might be a little tired, but it is what it is. We'll do what we can to, you know, keep ourselves excited. Like, I'm going to be pretty hyped. I think it's going to be, really exciting. I think we didn't hear much in the last year, so I think they're going to get pretty big. But in saying that, I do have 2 videos planned for tomorrow and the following day. Basically just talking about, you know, things that could be related to Pokemon Day. But of course, they're more centered around VGC. I'll kind of link my plans here, kind of just keep myself accountable. One of which I'm just going to talk about things that might be coming in the game. And, you know, ways that, how it could potentially affect VGC and whatnot, just because, yeah, I'm excited. You know, there are a lot of things, there are a lot of rumors kind of swirling around, and kind of just want to give my thoughts before it comes out. And the other thing too, I'm just going to talk about some megas. Because I do think, you know, as a slight of as chance as it is, I do think in the next 12 months, there is a chance, very small chance, but a chance we could be using Mega Evolutions in VGC, which I do think is really cool. It's really exciting, and I do think it would bring a lot of people back into the game. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And I guess, yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff and you want to check it out, check out the videos, subscribe to the channel, and come say hi Thursday night or Thursday morning, I guess, or wherever you are in the country, in the world. If you're Australian, it's technically Friday morning. If you're American, European, it's probably sometime on Thursday. But yeah, I will see you guys then. I've rambled on long enough. Wolfe Glick is the GOAT. Don't at me. Here's the LeBron James of the game. Ray Rizzo is the Michael Jordan. Catch ya. Bye.